Hey, we are back again, still in season 3 and still in person. We are still in person. We are loving this. Don't worry, y'all. Y'all will be able to join us for an in-person experience soon enough. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned for that. But this week's episode is one that I just get excited about, primarily because you have not, because you ask not. So making big asks is something, especially for women who feel as though, oh no, I got it, right. Or oh, I don't feel worthy to ask for certain things. This is going to be your episode. This will be making big asks in life, in business, and we maybe even tap into a little relationships too. But this one is with a woman who I truly admire, Lucinda Cross, Chief Activator and Lifestyle Business Coach. We are going to bring her onto our virtual stage. And I cannot wait for us to tap into the brilliance that is Lucinda. Hey, Lucinda.
Hey, ladies. How are you?
We're good.
We're good.
Excited to have you. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. I'm excited. I wish I could touch y'all.
Right? I know. It's okay. Soon come.
Virtual hugs.
Absolutely. We will be touching soon enough. I cannot wait. The panorama has lasted 22 years at this point.
At least.
We have done a whole, I don't understand. We've been a revolution around the sun at least 20 times at this point with this good panoramic. Hopefully it is coming to an end soon. That is our sincere prayer and hope for the future.
It's like we've been in retrograde for at least 40 years.
Yeah. At least. Like we've been in the wilderness. Whatever we did, give us free.
Yeah.
Let us go. We're so sorry. We won't do it again, I hope.
But no, I'm really excited to have you, Lucinda, because your story is just amazing. And we just thought you were the perfect person to talk about making these big asks in life that a lot of women just have a really, really hard time doing. Mm-hmm. Especially Black women. It's we're so, it's so funny that Black women are perceived to be so boisterous and so in your face and forthcoming. And we are, I think, as a community with certain things. But a lot of times when it comes to things that require us to kind of step into our self-worth and step into our higher selves, that sometimes can be so scary because we, one, don't have as many modeled examples. And a lot of times it's very difficult for us to use our voice to really move ourselves forward. We know how to do it for everybody else.
Yes.
But when it comes to doing it for us, it's not that easy. And that's so interesting based on how well we do it for other people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's so easy to show up for everyone else. It's so easy to tell someone how to ask, how to go after what they want. But, for us, and just in my own experience and observation, I've seen that men operate completely different. They are wired so different when it comes to that. And they have the greatest fear of rejection, believe it or not.
They do.
Still push forward.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes some men get really aggressive and really violent when they're rejected.
Yeah.
But they hold way more, even from a younger age, from starting at 5. Yeah. The rejection for them, the fear of it is there, but it doesn't stop them successfully. If they're not qualified for the job, they're still applying. Absolutely. If they know if that girl is quote unquote, the prettiest girl in the class or in the school, they're still going to ask, even if that rejection is there. Women, we just, starting from young, count ourselves down because they're trained to go for it or ask her or try out for the basketball team. We're told, maybe not right now, just watch, maybe next season. You shouldn't be thinking about that right now, and so it's always a waiting game for us to accept what we're given versus going after what we deserve and desire.
Ooh, okay. Except now I do have, there are, especially if you're raised super religious, there's a scripture that says,
where she go, y'all, quoting the Bible scriptures like an old lady. I promise you, she's like, I'm not religious.
I love it.
I'm not like that at all. And in every episode, she's quoting a Bible scripture. I'm like, look, you're an evangelist. Just
come on, Pastor. Come on, Pastor. Come through.
I am not. I will not. I curse like a sailor, and I believe in premarital sex. I can't be nobody's evangelist. But there is a scripture still that says, like, whatever state you're in, therewith to be content. And so for a lot of women, especially like Southern women or women who are raised super religious, they're taught that contentment means you just accept whatever you're given.
Yeah.
And you just be ever so grateful that, you know, somebody gave you something. And I remember my mother used to tell me, you know, bless her heart, she didn't know any better, but she used to tell me, don't ask for too much, because you don't want them to take away, you know, what they've given you. So don't ask for too much. Don't be so, because I've always had a big personality and a big ass mouth. It's always been very big. And so she would like, no, you got to calm down. You know, people aren't going to like you. You come back, just be content with what you have. And so I love that you use the word activate as a part of like your message and your brand, because it requires you to come out of such a comfortable state of contentment. So what is it about the word like activate that resonates so deeply with you? And then I've seen a lot of the work that you do, but how has it helped you be more effective as well?
Yeah, you know, it came from my own struggles. I say there's a fortune in your frustration, right? And so for me, you know, perfectionist, procrastination, you know, the queen of it at the time. And, you know, it was just, I just was tired of watching opportunities pass me by because I wanted to overthink and overanalyze, and this has to be right. This has to be right. And the brand just came from just saying, you know what, Lucinda, I did the Strength Finders test. By Tom Rath, Strength Finders 2.0 by Tom Rath. And one of my top strengths was activation. And I said, you know what? This is me. This is me. From now on, I'm going to do the opposite of what I've been doing and really embrace this whole activate. Because once again, like we were talking, I was quickly able to unlock others and activate others. I mean, they felt like, Lucinda, I feel like I could fly. I'm ready to take over the world. But for me, I'm like, you know what? Let me wait. 3-year plan, you know, let me put together another 50-page proposal that nobody's going to read. And I said, you know what, Lucinda, just activate. You got to do this thing and figure it out along the way and stop trying to have all the pieces together. If God wanted you to have all the pieces together, it wouldn't be called a purpose, because that's part of the process, right? And so you have to figure out how to work these tools. And so that's what is part of my brand. And I started to see who were the people that were gravitating towards me, people who needed to be activated, procrastinators, people who were the best kept secrets, people who needed to be pushed out of the nest. And I said, okay, we're going to activate. That's what we're going to do. There's no excuses. There's non-negotiables. And yeah, it's activate time.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, that's so powerful. And especially because a lot of times when you are something, like you mentioned that you were like a procrastinator, sometimes you feel like that's all you can be. And you feel like I can't do these things and then we just accept that's just how I am.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing that we use to just kind of debilitate ourselves is that's just how I am. That's how I am. That's how I was raised. That's how my mama was. That's how my grandmama was. That's just how we do. And instead it's like, no, I don't have to be that way. I can come up, I can decide today to be somebody completely different and do the opposite of, and all that takes is just doing something different from what you were already doing.
Yeah.
Your personality is just all of the accumulation of your decisions and things like that. Of course, you have some programming and some bullshit in there, but a lot of the way your life has played out is just decision after decision that has landed you where you're at.
Yeah.
And it's just, okay, maybe if I make a different decision, you know, instead of waiting till tomorrow, if I do it now, I'm no longer a procrastinator. If I keep doing that. You know, and that for me was a really big adjustment, was feeling like, oh, I'm a procrastinator. You know, it works sometimes when I'm a procrastinator. I still got the paper done. I still got this done. And sometimes you feel like, oh, it's not that bad until something really happens and you really fuck up. and you're like, okay, if I did it another way, this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So I love that idea of realizing that you can change simply by just deciding to make a different decision today. Yeah. And going that way and seeing what happens, not feeling like you're just damned to whatever your personality is or however you are.
Yeah.
That's important to me.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's an excuse.
Yes.
It's an excuse.
Yes.
You know, it truly is an excuse. But once again, we have to look at, what do I need to stop, start, and continue?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do I need to stop, start,
and continue? If this is not working for me, if I'm looking and I'm saying, wait a minute, this is not the life I ordered. Well, what do you need to stop, start, and continue? What you're not asking.
Love that.
You know, there's times I say, wait a minute now. God, I said a man. I left some things out.
You need to be more specific. You got to. Details matter. The devil's in the details. Now, Lucinda, you're really open about your past, and some people a lot of times I feel like a lot of shame around their past, and it hinders them a lot of times from wanting to kind of put themselves out there and like do the things and go for it. And, you know, a lot of times that's another excuse that people will use as a way to kind of prevent them from really going after what they want. How did you feel like you moved through any feelings of like guilt or shame around your past?
Oh man, you know, I was speaking on stage and just women would just come up to me and give me their most vulnerable stories. And I was giving them the successful story on stage. You know, at that time I was a single mother. I just hit like 6 figures in my business. But, you know, I thought being a corporate mom dropout who, you know, beat all the odds of entrepreneurship at the time was more important than what my mentor would call the glory story. Yeah. But none of that stuff it didn't add a zero to my bank account the way that once I did tell the glory story, it didn't open up media outlets. It didn't give me fulfillment as the way I thought it was. So it was nice to show, this is what happens, entrepreneurship, living it up, me and my kids, best life. You know, that to me was, you know, what I needed to tell, not how I got there. You know, nobody really wants to talk about how they got there. They just want to show you the private jet. Well, let me show you the bus I was riding. Let me show you the fact that my lights were turned off. I was running from the repo man. I was homeless and had to bring my kids to my mother, all because of this thing called the dream and the passion. Let me show you how my kid's father left because I did have this great grand dream. Let's talk about how I even have this ambition because I was 19, 18, you know, incarcerated, serving time. And then that's when I realized I had this gift in this hopeless place. Let's talk about how we even got here. Forget the fact that all you need is 10 clients paying you $10,000. Or I'm so happy I got my keys to my car, or I purchased my new home. You know, the women that I was talking to, and there's a stage and a space for everybody, right? Yeah. It's no downer to any speaker who does this. But for me, the women wanted authenticity. And for me to stand up on those stages looking cute, well put together, and having a polished story wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to help activate them if that's what I truly wanted to do. And so as they were being vulnerable with me, I was vulnerable. And when I did that, that opened up the floodgates. But what it also did is separated me in the marketplace. And they said, that's the business homie right there. She gonna get us right. She gonna get us right. And she speaks the truth. And it helped them to see real, recognize real, you know, not to go back to the hood, but real, recognize real. You like, okay, I get her. I can trust her, you know, and as she's sharing her journey, it's believable for me that it can happen for me. And I don't have to do anything crazy or have any type of jealousy or envy because it is a process. And so here we are, you know, I wouldn't have any of the accolades that I have now if I didn't tell my glory story, and it was nasty. So some of us have it, you know, some of us is not a trauma story, you know, but some of us have it where it can unlock contracts and opportunities. You know, working with the Department of Justice, like why, like, come on, year after year, you know, being sponsored by Delta. Now the bragging comes on because it's like, look, I shared it.
Yeah. I did that.
That's me, but
I did this too.
And so is that Delta sponsorship for 3 years, you know, so it's like, but it teaches something different, and it also allowed me to feel fulfilled. And I didn't want to share it. I was like, why do I have to share that story? I got a million others. I could talk about being a single parent. I could talk about dealing with a knucklehead. I could talk about, you know, this entrepreneurship world, the highs and lows of it. Why do I have to share that? But what I didn't realize, which I realized as I was moving on, is that how many women wake up and voluntarily incarcerate themselves mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. So yeah, I was physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, I wasn't.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's crazy because it is so true. Like, you choose your prison daily.
Yeah. Daily.
You choose it, and you choose it by the types of decisions and choices that you make. And if you are not behind, you know, bars, then that means you're literally checking in daily to whatever the prison is that you've chosen. Like, hey, I'm here. You know, do I make myself comfortable over here or over there? Like, where should I set up shop? And it's like, but you don't have to come. Like, you're voluntarily, there's no
looking for a warden.
Yeah.
You're looking for someone to hand you some cuffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You say, I choose anger. Incarcerated for the rest of the day. There goes your joy and your happiness. And now you done messed up somebody else's day as well.
I choose violence. Kind of like what we did this morning, asking.
Talking about that good old Miami weather.
But it's amazing too, though, when you think about it, when you do speak to the glory story, because I'm a firm believer that I wouldn't have made it through certain things if I wasn't supposed to share that with folks so they can know, hey, this is what the other side of it looks like. This is what the other side of domestic violence looks like. This is what the other side of depression looks like. And this is what healing on this phase, because you know it's phases.
Oh, it's not never ending phases.
Never ending. Like, this is what the other side of phase 2 of healing looks like. And if you keep pushing and keep moving, you'll get to see what the other side of phase 3, 4, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
But that does require an intense level of vulnerability.
Yes. Absolutely.
Like, an intense one. I remember when I first started sharing my story, my mother didn't know that my ex-husband was abusive. None of my friends knew.
Because I knew. Like, just, she didn't say it, but I could.
But you knew.
Yeah, you could just tell with the dynamic. Like, you walk into a house and it's ice cold in Miami and the air ain't on. The AC not kicking. It's July and the house feels like
icy. And that's the thing with the whole incarceration not being activated.
Yeah.
You don't realize it, but other people can.
It's like when you're drunk and you think like, I'm not drunk me on my birthday. It's like you feel like, oh, I'm fine. I feel like I'm putting it out there. I'm not stumbling. I'm not falling on my face. I can't be that drunk. And then everybody else watching was like, she is fucked up. Does she know that she's fucked up? She's fucking bullshit. It's the same thing where you don't even realize sometimes that other people, especially people who really love you and can see you, can notice some of those shit. So anyways, I'm just saying sometimes I think maybe at the time you felt like, oh, I was putting on. I mean, you can't ever know for sure unless somebody tells you, but I just knew that something was dangerously wrong.
Yeah.
Something wasn't right. So you can tell that something is not right. And you know why? Our spirits are able to sense and discern, of course, which we know. But one thing that I realized when I went inside, you know, my first 9 months inside, it was in solitary confinement.
Wow.
And there was a scent that was there. Yeah. Cause the case was so large and I was the only American, the youngest one of the case. So I had to get an approval from the judge that it was safe for me to go up with the other co-defendants. That's another story, another day. But the point is that when I was in that space, I was like, what is this smell? And it wasn't because it was dirty or nasty. It was fear. Fear has a smell and a scent, and it reeks. And so when I was like, as soon as we went in, I said, oh God, what is this? But the place smells like bleach. You know, it's clean. You know, I mean, it is the place of what it is, and it wasn't because people were throwing stuff, you know, it was fear. It smelled really, really offensive and bad. And so when you're walking into her space, you're like, this smells like danger. This smells like fear. This smells like anger. This smells like there's a lot of, it's not like you could walk, you know, so that's a whole nother. I told you my mother was a double psychology major, so don't get me started. But it is a scent, and that's why we're like, well, I don't know, what did I do to that person? Well, what did you come with? How was what was your internal aroma? All that baccarat that you bought, that you know that
that funky ass attitude.
It ain't gonna cover the low self-esteem and lack of confidence, the jealousy that you carry, the fear that you hold
like that. And you know what? I like
so
that
it's like
word.
So that's why men walk in that room, they change their scent. They're like, if I hear a no, what do I need to do to get a yes? I'm not walking away from this table empty-handed. Women, we are smelling good. We feeling good. By the time we get to the boardroom or the table, we already put on so many different aromas. And then we're sitting there expecting them to see a powerful Black woman. Excuse me, powerful where? You smell really scared. I smell a little child in here. I smell someone who's highly qualified, but they don't even... You probably can't even put the Legos together because you are still trying to figure things. Stop. Well, just stop. Y'all leaving me.
I'm sorry.
Y'all was like.
Right? You saw our body language. We was like, yeah.
But it's the real deal. You know, it's a real deal. And so that's why, you know, making big asks. That's why activating is key. That's why releasing some of these things, because it sets off an alarm. You know, Beyonce, ring the alarm. But then there's this whole TikTok, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, don't be. But you walking around like, you know, you don't belong here. You're walking around like, you know, so we got to change, truly change. When they say change how you show up, I look at it completely different. People think it's everything in the walk, the red bottoms, the telfar, the nice. No, it's how you showing up. You could look like a whole bum and change how they see you. Period. You could go in there, holy pants, pissed on yourself. And when you get in there, you could change your whole form. You can change their perception just by changing your energy. Period. That's it. They'll be like, you know what? She walked in here. She was so qualified, well put together. And you're like, really? I know I walked in there looking busted and disgusted. Has nothing to do with the outer appearance. Everything to do with what you're transferring before you even get there. That's the real currency.
It's the fact that energy has a scent, and you like literally when you said energy has a scent, I immediately began to start smelling what that fear, what it smells like, what it feels like. Because
you'll never forget it. You'll never forget. You can walk into someone else's household and you'll say, something ain't right. Something ain't right in here.
You never, that's the thing. Is it Maya Angelou or somebody great?
Maya Angelou
says that people will never forget. They'll forget what you do. They'll forget what you say, but they'll never forget how you make them feel. And what I love most about what you said is it puts so much of the responsibility back on the person and the accountability. A lot of times we're looking to blame everybody else, and it's this and it's that and all these other excuses. But when it's like, no, I'm in control of how I smell, right? Then it takes all that ownership and puts it back on myself. And it's like, okay, I can be more intentional now. I can walk into that room, and it gives you take all your power back when you do that. It doesn't matter if you're Black. It doesn't matter if you're a woman. It doesn't matter if you're disabled. Like there's so many things that don't have to be as important and as much of a roadblock as we make them sometimes, because it's in our mind, and our mind is what is going to protrude that energy.
Because our mind is going to tell every other cell in our body, and then our soul is going to be like, but no, sis, that's not it. No, sir, wait, hold on. But then you still have all these other cells in your body that are like, no, fight or flight, motherfucker. We got to figure this out.
That nervous system come in and just take over.
All the way over.
It's a wrap.
Exactly. And you were talking about inhibitors. Like, what do you feel is like one of the biggest inhibitors to our greatest desires?
Just the lack of clarity.
Oh,
You know, going back to that 5-year-old boy or girl, they're so clear what they want, what color the doll, what color the dress, what they want to name it, where they want to put it. They already got a place in their head. When I get that doll, I'm putting that doll right next to my pillow. You know, I'm putting the pink dress on the doll, you know, so they're so
it's
clear.
A boy when he wearing his pink dress.
So they're so clear. And I think what we, you know, what we have lacked because of so many things is just that clarity. And some of us, what's unfortunate is we don't know how to get back to it. We're so used to being told what to do, what to think, how to feel, how to move. Another seminar, another workshop, another training, another pastor, another church, another dipping, another, you know, so we're constantly told we need to do more of something to get clear when you don't. You know, clarity will give you everything and ask for nothing. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times, especially especially women, we have to focus on more so what's expected of us versus what we actually want. And then I think a lot of times that kind of makes our clarity a little foggy, because it's like in your heart, you feel one thing, and then somebody else, or you may bring it to somebody you love and care about, and then they tell you something completely opposite, or the way that they see you and they project onto you can help. It definitely can make things very distorted. So how do we even begin to uncover what the thing is we need to get clear about? Because there's so much noise, especially with parenting, with mothers, like the thing, you do anything, and there's so many opinions on what we look like, on how we parent, on how there's just so many opinions thrown at women, I feel like, much more than men, because for men, not to say that there's not a standard for them, but the standard is low. You know what I'm saying?
It's a little lower.
For a lot of those things, it's like,
seriously,
especially if he's a wealthy man or a well-to-do man. That's all he really got to be.
He could just look like he trying, and that's good.
Oh, he got a car. Oh, he good. He's at the house. Oh, he comes home. Oh, he talks to the baby sometimes. Girl, what's wrong?
Girl, you got a good man. He ain't out there cheating. He's good.
He hitting you.
So you should just accept good as enough, girl.
Man, we were just having this conversation
yesterday. And so now the guilt comes, but the things that we need to do, right? The action work that we need to do is go into a season of really not giving them. You know, and what that looks like is I have to tap into what it is that I want, because I don't even know what I want to eat. If someone says, what you want to go eat, I'm going to say, well, what you want to eat?
That's literally
what movie do you want to watch? Well, what movie do you want to watch? So it means the season of not giving up is when you are saying, I need to make some decisions for myself, even if I don't know. And I'm only going to do what I want to do.
What feels good.
And even if this is going to be offensive to some people, I really have disconnected with myself, and I can't give you what I don't have for myself anymore. So no, I'm not going to be able to go out. Well, why not? Because I'm not going to go out.
I don't want to.
And it's not giving explanations on your reasons why. No, I'm not watching your kids. I'm busy. Busy doing what? I'm busy. That busyness could be being just taking a nap. How about I don't feel like you putting things on my agenda, you know? So it's not being nasty with folks or even saying it like that, but it's just saying I'm making a firm decision to choose me on all areas for the next 3 months. Try it out. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do, is to make decisions every day for yourself. What you gonna eat? Like I said, I don't know. What are you in the mood for? No, what you want to eat? You know what? I feel like lobster right now. Lobster. It's Tuesday. Yeah, I'm gonna drive an hour out. That's how lobster that I like. That's over there in Jacksonville. Really? Yep. That's crazy, girl. We could do that on the weekend. No, you could do that on the weekend if you feel like it. But I'm gonna go do that right now.
Yeah. And no is a complete sentence.
Yeah, but it's one of the hardest complete sentences for many folks to say. Like to say
how about
no.
saying yes to yourself?
Yeah.
before you even start saying no to other people.
That part.
Because everyone's, give 21 no's, give, 21 days of no's. That's hard when you're a natural giver and a nurturer and a lover and a true supporter, because you want to be there for people. So even in the process of being there, let's say, let's not change your characteristic and who you are, but let's add some of you in the process on your own agenda. Because your agenda from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, you probably at 10% of what's on there. And we think, self-care is let me go take a bath. No, self-care is I'm going to do whatever I want to do for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not asking for permission or someone to tag along. Hey, I'm throwing a party. Who's coming? Me? I'm gonna be over at such and such. You more than welcome to show up. Really? You just for me. So if y'all come, that's fine. And it's now giving yourself freedom to be.
Oh.
It's a beautiful thing. I can't tell you how many parties I threw for myself. They're like, it's your birthday? No. What you celebrating? Just because I didn't give up this week. I felt like slapping the shit on somebody. I had road rage on Wednesday. I was about to go down, me and the person. So I'm glad that I am working on me this season. So, I'm being funny, but in all honesty, it's looking at, how are we celebrating ourselves? That helps you get closer to clarity, because then you're saying, you know what, I really don't like that. And I don't have to tolerate that.
Yeah.
Or them.
That part. I love you don't have to change who you are.
Yeah.
So instead of saying no, if you are a natural born giver, it's not saying no, it's simply deciding that you're going to say yes to you. So you still get to keep that part of yourself, the part that wants to show up. Yeah. It's just, I'm now saying yes to myself. So I'm showing up for me. So I'm still showing up.
Yeah.
I'm just showing up for me in this season. Kind of like what Issa Rae said. She's like, it's a me season.
It's a me season.
Yeah. And putting yourself higher on your priority list. Not that those other people aren't on your list or they're not a priority, but you have to put your oxygen mask on first. So it's like, I can't even be my best self to really help you, because really it's actually in service to other people to take care of yourself.
It is.
If you are high, if you're vibing high and you're doing all the things you need to do, you are naturally going to you're naturally going to want to serve and help people. That's just what we are. That's just, especially Black women. I mean, we are just the nurturers of an entire race and humanity. Like this world doesn't sin and doesn't do the things without us in it, because we are just naturally like that. Like I sometimes when I watch certain things on television and they portray Black mothers in such a negative light as these like cold, kind of distant women, it's just like every Black woman I know is so, they could be a little mean, it might pop you upside the head, but they're just the sacrifices and the things that they go through to provide and to make sure their families are okay.
For the whole community.
For everybody.
Let us find out that some kid is not getting lunch in school. Here, this is for you, and this is for David.
Yeah.
And here's another one, just in case y'all want something else later on. Who's not going to the trip? This is for you, and this is for David.
Yeah.
And so we take care of the community, but we also got to take care of ourselves.
Absolutely.
First
by finding out what it is that we want to do. You ask us, any woman, and I did this when I wrote the book, The Big Ask. So what is it that you want? I mean, I don't know. I just want my kids to be happy and successful and safe in this crazy world. And they go on a tangent about their worries, worshiping more of the worry and the fear than the future. Oh, well, what do you want for yourself? I just really want, him to realize that I am the wife and the woman that, well, what do you want? And there's never an answer for what it is that they want.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's really, really sad, because it's like, dang, you've lived 20, 30, 40 some odd years based on what is given to you. Not any of those things are things that you went after or set a standard for or said this is non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And so you are complaining about the life that you're living now based on what you've been eating. You didn't tell them that you was allergic to these things. You was allergic to infidelity. You didn't say That's not going to work for me. I can't. I'm sorry. Even if I wanted to have you back, I can't because I'm allergic to that. That's going to cause uncomfortability in me. And I'm going to be an angry woman for the rest of my life, even if I forgive you. So, it's saying, so we have to look at, the reality of this thing and say, you know what, this is back to that statement. This is not, this is not the life I ordered, and it's okay. Because sometimes good is not good enough. That's good for you. We make other people's life process our purpose. Even as mothers, I have older children and I still have to battle with the fact that, hey, I'm going out. Oh, really, Ma? Like, oh man, you just went out the other day. And I'm talking about like just going out to grab a bite, doing a brunch. Today I'm going to go to the brunch. They're going to be like, oh, really? But I had to understand you have your life. So I'll be sitting here all day. You'll probably talk to me a couple of times. So I had to understand, I also have a life. Yeah. I have a life, and I'm not a bad mom. Even when they were smaller and I was building my business, I'm not a negligent or bad mom because I'm working on my business and I'm not looking like the traditional mom.
Yeah.
It's quite all right. I had to get comfortable with that because I was beating myself up with guilt. Oh, I don't want to kick anybody. I hear this all the time with women. Especially those who are trying to pursue their dreams. I don't want to kick him when he's down. I never want to do that to anybody because, I just want to be there for him. But dang, you're not even there for yourself.
And that's the biggest thing.
And you get mad when you do help him get himself together and he decides to go with somebody who understands themselves a little bit.
Yeah. It's crazy. We literally we're not clear, so we just accept whatever they throw in our bucket.
Yep.
Because we're not clear.
Yeah.
So I get why you say like that's the biggest inhibitor. You not being clear, you not having clarity affects every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
And they say that the two most important days of your life is the day you're born and the day you discover why. But figuring out that why and what your purpose is not always easy. So how would you say like figuring out your purpose, like how has it changed like your approach to life?
For me, I figure out my purpose every day. You know how people say you got to find your purpose? What does that mean? That's like saying find your heart. Like, what are you talking about? I was born with this thing. So I have to understand this is an everyday process. Breathing is automatic and just so is your purpose, and so understanding what you're supposed to do with it. That's an everyday thing. How can I use my gift to unlock someone in the supermarket?
Ooh.
How can I use it to unlock someone
I love that
at the gas station on my way to dropping my son off to school? That is, am I fulfilling my purpose if I do that? Does it always have to look like me giving turkeys out and having people record it? Does it always look like me showing that I'm doing a school bag giveaway drive and, I've got camera crews? Does it have to look like that? Or did I fulfill my purpose by telling this single mother, hey, here's some money for the groceries. You don't got to put that back. Or, hey, join my, how many times I host conferences and I'll, just give some tickets away to single mothers and to shelters. How are they supposed to change their legacy of their family? They're just as hungry and maybe even more.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the women who purchased their tickets. Most of my success stories came from women who were re-entry, coming from shelters, domestic violence shelters, single parent shelters. Those success stories are phenomenal. Not even so much from, the women who were able to purchase the VIP ticket, the ones who really, got a pass and wanted to be a part of this. So it's looking at, how can I use my purpose or my God-given gifts, talents, skills, and abilities on a daily basis? How can I volunteer for God, just one time a day?
Yeah. And you are super passionate about your word is sisterships, which I love because we like to call each other sister friends.
Yes.
Because friend just doesn't feel like enough sometimes for some of the bonds you share with people. It's like you can't even be my friend now. Like there's got to be something stronger than that, and sometimes it'll even feel stronger than your biological siblings, right? It's like, what else is there? I think there should be some other word. And since we're talking about Bible scriptures, like there really are these experiences of those friends that stick closer than a brother, like, you know. So why do you feel like it's so important for women to cultivate meaningful bonds with other women? Because I love that that's a part of your platform, because it's so important.
There's a fortune in your frustration. Having a lack of women in my network growing up and feeling like it was okay. You know, I thought it was cool to say, I just have a small select group. I really don't even with women like that. I thought that was cute growing up until I realized that, hey, you surrounded by thousands of women. You better get it right, sister. You better get it right. You are locked up with them for the next 4 years, baby. So for me, I've seen some powerful things happen in encouragement. One in this hopeless place of prison, real prison, and then also coming out and seeing what the lack of it does to a woman. You know, when you don't have that sistership because you've been betrayed, or loyalty has been broken, or you've been talked about, and then, you know, so for me, it has helped me grow my business, my life, and I had to learn that even my sister friends, my sisterships, don't hold them to such obligations and expectations. Let them be who they are.
Yeah.
I got sisterships. This is what we do. We pray. I got sisterships. This is what we do. We twerk. I got sisterships. This is what we do. We throwing on bikinis. We acting up. You know, I got sisterships that's just going to give me the real deal. Like, girl, and I got sisterships who, you know, it's so many different circles that serve so many different purposes that I needed to learn to be easy. I may not tell everything. She may not need to know that, right? And I can't expect her to hold that because she's not in that space. But they're so vital to life. Sisterships. I love them. I love creating them. I mean, this is why we're here. How long has this been cultivated? Years.
Yeah, we met years ago. I think it was even before I moved to New York.
Knowing someone, seeing someone, trusting someone, and then watching the moving train, you know, and saying, wow, look what she's doing. I love it. You know, and I'll comment like, oh, where's that bathing suit from? You know, and it's genuine love, you know, and so sisterships are important, and it helps us grow. I wouldn't be here without them. Professionally, personally, I'd probably be depressed. Because you need someone to lean on. And I don't have sisters. I have 3 brothers. And so this to me is key. It's everything. And I nurture and value it.
Yes. So listen, so then where can we stay connected with you? Because I need the folks to continue their sistership.
We need all these gems.
Listen, I cannot wait for this episode to come out, because you saw us all in the computer, like, can we get any closer to gleaning?
I was like, yes,
we try to smell what you got going on over there. Okay.
It's the aroma through the computer for me. Right. So where can we stay connected? Where can we buy your book? Like, we want to know all the things.
Yes, just go to lucindacross.com. You can get the book. You can find out what workshops and trainings we have going on. I love to play on Instagram. So it's Lucinda Cross on Instagram as well. And I'm venturing in TikTok now too. You know, I'm having a little fun with my TikToks, but lucindacross.com is the main hub for everything.
Listen, I'm so grateful for just your light and your energy, and I'm gonna take some of your time and take you up on it this week to just catch up and re-engage and figure out too, how else can I support you. I'm so grateful to you and for you. Thank you.
Same here. And y'all smell good.
Thank you.
No, but thank you so much for joining us. I mean, I have had chills probably this entire episode.
Yes.
Like, you would just like speak my language. So it was just amazing for me. And I hope our listeners and our viewers can have the same experience, and they really just are open and take this in, because this is some life-changing. I told you it was gonna be life-changing when the internet started fucking up. I was like, oh, this gonna be it right here. This is gonna be the one. So thank you, Lucinda, for your time. Of course, you can stay connected with me at Danny Foster Coaching. on Instagram, Danny Foster on Facebook. Go ahead to our website at triggeredafpodcast.com, triggeredafpc on Instagram.
All the platforms, and Alicia Reese everywhere where there's a platform.
So thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you again, Lucinda, for joining us, and y'all enjoy the rest of your day and tune in next time. Bye. Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Triggered AF. Remember, don't be consumed by your triggers. Confront it and then work to release it. Whether you leave us more triggered than you came or you're feeling like you've been open to a new perspective, our hope is that you've grown. Make sure to share this episode with a friend who's trigger happy and tag us while you're listening. We can't wait to hear from you. Until next week, pull it together, girl.